everyone. Today we have with us Lee Weatherly, who is the author of this book right here. It's called Angel Burn, and it's actually a really beautiful cover. Look at that gorgeous cover. And you can't really see it there, but it's very shiny, right there.
Some shiny parts.
It's beautiful. So we're going to talk a little bit about the book, and just sort of the process and everything. One of the things that stuck out for me while reading it is that the angels are not actually the good guys.
That's true.
There may be some good ones in there, but for the most part, they're kind of the bad guys. So if you could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, basically, I'd had the idea for these two characters in my head for a really long time, and I was just trying to find the right story for them. And one thing I guess I always knew is that I wanted the main girl character to be psychic, and the main boy character to be the assassin who had been hired to kill her. And so
The makings of a great love story.
Who can resist the assassin who's hired to kill you, basically?
Absolutely.
So, anyway, it just wasn't right if there wasn't a paranormal aspect, because if Alex were an actual hitman, then it's really hard to have a happy ending with a romance. Just a little bit,
True.
just a tad. So I started thinking along the lines of the paranormal. And then one day, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was in a bookstore and I saw this display of non-fiction books about angels. And it was all things like Angel on My Shoulder and Angel in My Hair. And the idea being that angels can be very personal helpers to you, basically. And so if you have a problem in your life, you call on the angels to come help you. If you're trying to find a parking space, then the angels can help you find a parking space. Which I have no idea if this is true. I think it'd be wonderful if it was. I really don't know. But it just started me thinking. It's this thing that writers do, where you sort of have an idea and you think, what if this, what if that? And I thought, what if the angels are here and we only think that they're good and we only think they're kind, and really they have their own agenda about things. And so that's sort of where the idea got started. I thought, evil angels, that would be fantastic. So the idea is that the angels are from a different dimension, and that everything that we think we know about them is totally wrong. They're actually here to suck our life force. And when they do so, we perceive them as being good and kind, but really they're not.
Right, and then that ends up sort of perpetuating this gospel of like angels being amazing and peaceful and beautiful creatures, and then they are beautiful.
They are incredibly beautiful. It's where they lure people in.
Right.
But they're bad and dangerous.
So if you could just tell us a little bit about just a little short summary of the book.
Short summary of the book. Angel Burn is about Alex, who's an angel killer. His father was a... AK for short. He has a very sexy AK tattoo on his spine. His father was a CIA agent who was one of the first to realize the angels are here and what they're actually doing to people. So Alex is one of the very few people who knows the truth. Willow is half angel but doesn't realize it at the start of the story. She's called Queen Weird at her high school because she's psychic and she's into vintage clothing. She really doesn't care what anyone thinks about her. She likes to fix cars. And by a sort of turn of events, she finds herself confronted with this knowledge of what the angels are doing in this world and that they even exist in the first place, which she'd have no idea. And it sort of throws her and Alex together. He's been told that she has to be destroyed. Instead, he realizes there's something a bit strange about her, something that he hadn't realized, because angels aren't supposed to breed. And so the fact that there's a half angel shouldn't be happening.
And not even just supposed to, but it shouldn't even be possible.
It should be. So he's really intrigued by it. So the two of them end up on the run together and fall in love, basically.
So let's talk a little bit about the characters. The main character, Willow, is, as you said, she's a little bit odd, but only to her schoolmates and sort of before she comes into her own and understands her identity. But she is definitely, she's sort of a strong character to start with, but she does definitely grow into something as she learns more about herself. So if you could talk a little bit about the paranormal side of that, and female characters in books now, and just sort of the general.
Absolutely. Well, one thing I really enjoy with Willow is that she's a really capable character from the start. And so the very first time we see her, she's fixing her friend Nina's car in the school parking lot, and her friend is just like, do you have to do this here? Because everyone already thinks you're so incredibly weird, and this is not going to help. And I really
Meanwhile, she's getting her car fixed.
Meanwhile, she's getting her car fixed for free, so she's being completely ungrateful about this because it's just so embarrassing. But yeah, I really liked having that first image of Willow because we see her immediately as someone who's really capable. And she doesn't really care what people think. And do her own thing and do it very well. I really enjoy the sort of dark romance that's out there now, the whole sort of, that type of fiction. But one thing that really struck me about it, as I started thinking about this particular story, is that it's always the boy character who has the special powers. It's always the boy character who's the vampire or the werewolf or the fallen angel. I thought it'd be really interesting to have the girl have these powers instead. And so in this case, it's Alex who's human, basically, and he falls in love with
also capable.
Although he's very capable, actually, yeah, very capable. I mean, I think with a lot of this type of fiction, it's almost the appeal of taming the ultimate bad boy, almost, because you have the fallen angel or the werewolf, who has to be tamed in this very real way, almost. They have this sort of power where they could destroy you or love you, sort of thing, which I think is very appealing in a strange way. And with Willow, it's the exact opposite. She's the one who has the power in this one, and Alex has to overcome a lot of his own feelings about angels to fall in love with her. I think from the first moment he meets her, he's very attracted to her, and so
I would say so.
His brain is just going, attracted to her, but no, she's half angel. Attracted to her, no, she's half angel. So he has to battle with that for a lot of the story.
So tell me a little bit about the characters and where they come to you from.
Interesting. I probably started more with Alex than Willow. Alex has been in my head for a really long time, probably about 20 years now.
Ooh.
Yeah, and originally I wrote a book which was a fantasy novel, so it was a really old fantasy setting. And the character was also named Alex in that, and he was a thief in that one. And so that was a book that I absolutely loved, and it went through a lot of drafts, and it wasn't ever published ultimately, but I just couldn't let go of the characters, and Willow was in that book as well, but not quite as crystallized as the Willow who we see now. I couldn't quite let go of the characters because I just loved them so much. So years went by, and I got other books published, but these just wouldn't leave me. And so I started to think, what if I put them in a very contemporary setting? And that's when I got the idea about Willow being a psychic and Alex being a hitman. And so it sort of came about from there, but they've been around for a very long time.
And the love story is so satisfying. Let me just say this to everybody out there. It is, I don't know, you're just 75%. I'm reading on my Kindle, so I don't actually know. I just know, 3/4 of the way through the book, and I'm just like, something's gotta give. Something's gotta happen. It does. It does. So talk a little bit about, their relationship.
Yeah, it's something I had so much fun writing, basically, and I love the whole world with the angels and the Church of Angels and everything else.
And also the setting, the scenery is just, it's the sense of place is very romantic.
Basically a lot of the stories this road trip from upstate New York to New Mexico, and this would be beyond New Mexico as well. So there's this long physical journey which they take, which reflects the inside journey which they have to take to actually go from being hating each other to falling in love, basically. So, but the love story is really the reason why I wanted to write the book. I love the paranormal aspect, that adds a real sort of edge to it. But for me, if there wasn't a romance, I wouldn't have wanted to write it. So it was very much about that. And what I really liked about their relationship was that Willow is not a girl who particularly wanted or needed a boyfriend. She's attracted to him, and yes, she wants something to happen, but she's not someone who is thinking, oh, my life is incomplete because I have no boy.
Right.
She was completely, whole within herself, basically.
I think that's excellent. I'm so glad you said that, because I'm just hearing you say that and then thinking about, having read the book, I never really got the feeling that you needed it to happen, or that it was something that was sort of like, but then when it does happen, it's just so fulfilling.
Thank you.
So that's just sort of a wrap for this portion of the interview. We're going to have another one where we're going to talk a little bit about process and just, advice for teens out there. But just final question. Can you tell us a little bit about Angel Fire?
Angel Fire,
the next book in the series.
It's a really exciting time for me because I just finished writing it about 10 days ago.
Oh my goodness! Wow, congratulations!
Thank you.
That's very exciting.
It took a long time to write, a long time for me to really figure out myself what was happening in the story. Not to say too much about it. Basically, it takes place mostly in Mexico City. They have the second chance to destroy the angels in our world, and Alex and Willow's love faces a lot of challenges.
Sounds good. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope everybody, ducks in for the next two questions.
Thank you very much.